Hey everyone, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to save an agent conversation. And we can save the conversation, we can retrieve that and resume the agent activity for later on. So we already seen how multi-turn conversation works, where agent maintain the context of the agent conversation. Now we are going to extend that idea to persist the full conversation, and we can retrieve it and continue from that time. So in this example, we're going to see we can summarize the poem in the first step, and we'll save the conversation and save the poem and everything in our local file, and we'll retrieve it later on. And when we click the second button, it will rate the poem rating based on our previous saved uh, agent state. So let's see how that works. As you can see, I have few poem like last time, and when I click poem review, so what it will do, it will do some review on that poem and save it locally. So our review is right there, and it is a summary and some review comment of that poem. So now you don't have the rating yet, because uh, this button will do the rating, and the way it working is save that poem review and summary, and based on that, the next step it will do the rating. So two step involved. First we do the review, save it, and when we click the poem rating, then we retrieve that, and that poem will be rated based on its content. All right, let's go and see the Visual Studio to find out how we can save our agent. Okay, we are going to look into this file, multi-conversational persist agent file, from our agent folder, to see how we can persist our agent conversation. So we have two agents: poem review comment agent and poem review rating agent. So in our constructor, we're setting up some instruction of that agent, system instruction. But the main takeaway from that is the poem review only structured output. So that's the output we are getting from our poem review comment agent. So the response will have same data, whatever we define in this schema. So let's look at that record we have. So we are getting back a poem summary, and review comment in the response. We are asking our agent to give this structure back. So now the reason we are interested in this, we can actually save this, the structured response, and we can save this in our local file, and then we can remember the first agent response. And when we ask for rating, which is our second agent, we can pass this information so that it can find the context from our first agent. So that's what we are going to do now. So these are two methods we have. So get poem review and get poem rating. These two methods are called from our two button from our UI that we looked into our demo. This is for our first button we click, and we are passing the whole poem in that method. So we have our poem, and now to get our conversational history, we can use agent thread. So we looked at agent thread before. Now we are going to persist this agent thread for our later use. We're going to see it in a moment. But to get our agent, what we do, we just call poem review comment agent, the agent we are working on right now, and get a brand new thread, get new thread method we invoke, and we get a thread. Now, whenever we call our poem review comment agent run async method, we can pass that thread along with our chat message, and that chat message contain our poem and another instruction. Now, whenever that agent run finish, it will populate everything in our thread. So we'll have our chat message as well as the response from our agent. So now we have everything in our thread. All we have to do, we can serialize that thread using thread.serialize method. So agent thread has a method called serialize. We can just call it and get JSON element type object from that method call, and we can just get a serialized JSON string and we can save it in our file. Okay, so we saved our conversation right here. Now the whole method is done. We get our response back to UI and we show the poem and everything. But at this time, the agent call is done. Agent doesn't know anything, but we already saved it. So now our JSON file contain the history. What we can do now, we can retrieve this and we can pass that history along with our rating agent call. So that's what we're going to see it in our next method. So before looking to our get poem rating method, let's look at what it looks like in our review that JSON file. So this is our file is saved in this location, the memory data memory location. And if you can see, it has our, that is the message, chat messages we set up. We had two text content, the whole poem and the instruction. And that is our response. The poem reviewer agent is the assistant agent. It gave us that response. So this is the poem. This is the same structure. This is the JSON encoded string. The poem colon and the whole poem, and we have the review, and it actually same structure as this. Okay, so we have everything, whatever the structure defined here. Okay, the schema. Okay, so now let's look at the method where we can retrieve this. So this is our second button when we call from our UI, this method invoked. Now, in that, what we can do, we can load our JSON file and read all content, and we can deserialize that JSON text to JSON element. Okay, so we just reverse engineering whatever we did before. We're just reverse process. We're just getting it and we are making a JSON element. Okay, so once we get the JSON element, there is a one method in agent framework provide. The agent has a method called deserialize thread. So you pass JSON element to it and you get a agent thread. Okay, so we get a agent thread, but that agent thread is not empty. It has everything we have in this file. So it is a poem, it has everything. Okay, now we have our agent thread. Now we can pass that when we call our poem review rating agent along with the instruction. So this is the instruction is saying on a scale of 1 to 5, rate this poem. So how it's going to find the poem? It will look into this thread and it will find it right there. Okay, so that's how we remember our agent conversation. We can persist our agent conversation and we can resume later on for our next agent. Hopefully it makes sense. If you have any question, let me know, writing comment below, and I'll see you in our next video.